I'm Mr. Giant and I'm going to be saying how you can do Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and other forms of media. I know Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was a terrible game, but I'm not saying they should do anything with that version of it. And I'm just saying how they could do a good version of that game. I'm not saying you should be doing anything with this version of the game, and just you should do something with it in 10 years after you gain back the trust of the DC fans. After James Gunn already does the video game part of the DCU. I'm going to be talking about the Suicide Squad fight against the Justice League and other forms of media specifically, not just as the video game version of it. So I am going to be saying how you can do the Suicide Squad and more other forms of media in general, and really this is just an excuse to talk about the Suicide Squad. And I'm going to be talking about lesser members of the Suicide Squad, because partially why people hated a Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was because as the original members weren't done all that great, and because since it's set in the Arkhamverse, most of the villains that are part of the Suicide Squad already did in that universe anyways, and they're not really using the other members of the Suicide Squad. And also, and since it's them fighting against the Justice League, that means you can use supervillains from other superheroes' road galleries. And if you use lesser known members of the Suicide Squad and the Justice League, then it would be okay if some of them die off in it, without it being offensive to the Justice League. And also, you should get rid of that plot armor and just use them stealing Batman's contingency plans with Lex Luthor's contingency plans with Amanda Waller's contingency plans to kill the Justice League. Since it's Batman's contingency plans, he should not be mind-controlled along with Wonder Woman in this game. For it to make more sense of how they got them, and with them just stealing it from Batman specifically. Because Batman is usually one who survives when the rest of the Justice League is captured, and also because Batman would be more willing to stop the Suicide Squad from killing the Justice League. And I'm keeping Wonder Woman because she already doesn't show up as the main character in a bunch of stuff, and she is one of the most caring members of the Justice League, so she would be in this game, and she would just be more willing to not kill the other Justice Leaguers, as in be trying to stop the Suicide Squad from killing them. And frankly, I like Brainiac being the main villain of the game because of him being one of DC's biggest villains, but if you really hate Brainiac being the main villain of the game, you can just replace him with another alien invasion storyline or even the Anti-Monitor. In the multiverse thing, so instead of them fighting against the Justice League mind-controlled, they'd be fighting against evil alternate versions of the Justice League, like the Crime Syndicate, the Justice Lords, as the Justice League Gods and Monsters Justice League. They would still be controlled by Brainiac along with the evil versions of the Justice League counterparts in the main DC universe, like Bizarro and Reverse Flash. With some evil alternate Justice League members as from another dimension, and only some of the main Justice Leaguers would be mind-controlled from the iconic ones. But for the Justice Leaguers that would usually die, it'd be lesser known Justice Leaguers. And you would use lesser members of the Suicide Squad, so it being okay them dying, but Harley Quinn would die early in the game because she was terrible in the original game and everyone's starting to get sick and tired of Harley Quinn. Would die later in the game to show how big of a threat Brainiac and the Justice Leaguers are. And only two of the Justice Leaguers who have legacy characters, as in there being more than one guy who took up the mantle, or who could take up the mantle of that Justice Leaguer, would die in the game to show it being a big threat, Brainiac. So while it would still have good reasons for being called Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, so this rebooted version of the game won't be insulting as the original version of the game, where they made fun of Kevin Conroy's Batman and disrespected him, when this is the last voiceover what Kevin Conroy did before he died. It's not that they killed these guys, it's that they didn't do a good job of it, and that they were making fun of these guys without honoring all the stuff they did before. For taking out Brainiac soldiers, you would be on your own with more diverse gameplay, and you doing different things from each other, but with fighting against the Justice League, you having all the Suicide Squad members on one Justice League. And with them freeing the Justice League from Brainiac's mind control in the end of the game, and then working together to defeat Brainiac at the end of the game. That we continue on what Batman was doing from Arkham Knight, him just as not being a public member of the Justice League yet. And just make this version of Harley Quinn the Arkham version of Harley Quinn. And only one of the superheroes would be an evil mind-controlled superhero, the other one would just be dead inside. And you showing the connection between these superheroes and their villains, and you doing the Suicide Squad being tempted by Brainiac, but them ultimately saying no to it because even them not being that bad and it's their planet. And I'm not saying they should put these games in the Arkham universe. I'm actually saying they should specifically not put it in the Arkhamverse and just make it its own universe if they do a said video game universe in the DC universe. Just stay tuned for my video about that. And I'm just saying how they can do it in the Arkhamverse in this video. To show, that actually could have happened. And just as if them wanting to undo them ruining the Arkhamverse. Me having different ideas for how they can unruin and Kevin Conroy's last voiceover job. So you kind of want to see that video. And they are only going to do the question if it airs movies to undo that terrible mistake they did to Kevin Conroy. And just showing how you could have did it being set in the Arkham universe better. And that the video game developers could have did a better job putting it in the Arkham universe. This is just so us getting something out of the game so it's not a complete waste of it, and it's also so DC can undo the disservice they did to their fans, and for a big fat I'm sorry to the fans. And for the James Gunn version of the Suicide Squad, I'm also going to be using lesser known villains there because that was the point of James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, and he usually uses lesser known characters, and so we can get something out of these villains, and so these versions of them would make it into the comic books. I'm just saying this now so this will make one bit of sense later on in the video.
Watch out, 21st century heroes! There's a new gold standard in crime fighting. A savior that's come all the way from the future to show you how it's done. It's Booster Gold!
Lights on.
Evil Star would be a good villain in the game, and because since he's lesser known, that would make sense how he's on the Suicide Squad, and he would be powerful enough to fight against Green Lantern, specifically in the Suicide Squad, since he is in Green Lantern's Rogues Gallery, and because of him having the same powers as Green Lantern, him just getting his power was from his home planet of Starlight.
And now, to claim this treasure for my own. You just stepped into a world of pain, kid.
Yeah, well, you have any clue how Beetle would take down Evil Star? Whoa, Evil Star? I'm still stuck on Crazy Quilt. How would you get to that level so fast? It's a good question. So, this Evil Star dude gets his powers directly from Starlight, right? Yeah? So what? Got it. Thanks, Paco. One Starlight blocking electromagnetic pulse coming up!
And Sonar would also be good to fight against someone like Superman because of him having sonic weapons and a sonic scream. He is a member of the Suicide Squad in the comic books, and he is a lesser known member of Green Lantern's Rogues Gallery, so this good version of him could show up more in the comic books.
Chickapalooza!
In 30 seconds, your brains will be so scrambled, I'll be able to serve them up with bacon. Okay, I give up!
Do I kill the signal, or you?
Tattoo Man does have good powers, with him being able to bring the tattoos on his body to life. He is one of the more well-known Earth Green Lantern villains. The second version of him is better because he was part of the Titans East, and he is also a member of the Suicide Squad in the comic books.
If it weren't for your tattoos, Tattoo Man, you could be working in that bank instead of robbing it.
It ain't the robbing I care about, it's the brawling. My ears can't think straight.
That's the general idea.
And the Sonic is different from King Sonic, and it is also good him being a hyper-evolved Sonic. You just need to use the Sonic head version of how he looked, with him being strong like the modern way he looks, but with the stuff added to Sonic head, and him having the same costume as the Justice League Unlimited version of the way he looked, with the Batman the Brave and the Bold version of how he looked. The puppeteer came before Marvel's Puppet Master, and he does use weaponized puppets instead of mind controlling people with puppets. Starbreaker is good because he's already a Justice League villain, so he would be perfect to fight against the Justice League, because of him already being able to take on the whole Justice League before. The Madmen are good because them being the arch nemesis of Ted Kord's Blue Beetle, so you can have more than one of them in the live action movie. With them doing international business, of them being henchmen for supervillains. And since they're a charlatan comics character, they could show up in a different version in the Watchmen show, as actual madmen, or them just trying to start up the supervillain thing again in the Watchmen universe. And Dr. Double X is good because of him being a radiation thing Batman villain. And you need to use the Batman the Brave and the Bold version of him. It is good he has a radiation energy clone of himself. And Batman the Brave and the Bold did show how good he is. And if they ever do a live action Batman show where they can't use Batman, and to make up for all their other terrible shows like that, he would be a good villain and to use there. If you did that, the Gotham Knights were about Cassandra Cain, and Spoiler, Bluebird, and Signal, instead of members of the Bat family no one even knows about and made up characters.
With this power, Double X will be unstoppable.
The only double X's you'll see are the ones I'm gonna put over your eyes.
The Batman. You'll be the perfect test for my new power.
What? No one said anything about a test.
It's going to be a black day for the Dark Knights.
Whoa. Dude got big. Double X is feeding off the energy flowing into Dr. X to increase his size and strength.
My power! No! I won't go back into this spineless excuse for a human.
And you'd also need to spin it in the Suicide Squad movie, and he would also be good for that live action show too, because of him having a suit that makes him indestructible and gives him tornado powers like Red Tornado. He's Batman's Rowan, and you could be Batman's version of the Top. And you would need to go with the Batman the Brave and the Bold version of him, which also showed how good he is. With him just wanting to do a tornado that destroys everything and him not wanting anyone to stop it. And you can make it that the second spinner, the member of the League of Assassins, and an assassin is a starter. And with her actually having tornado powers herself, which she inherited from her barber. And her becoming a supervillain and to continue on his legacy. Because of him actually caring about her.
How about it, kid?
Put me in, coach.
Yeah! Teamwork!
No one stops the spinner!
Is it just me? Or is everything starting to spin?
It's just you.
And because of him having tornado powers, you can put him with the Tornado Champion, who would become the Tornado Tyrant, who is a Red Tornado villain, and I would go with the Batman the Brave and the Bold version of him.
You cannot do this. They deserve better.
Please, Father, they're worthless biological jokes.
Not jokes. They aspire. They dare to dream, to reach out to each other, to love.
Blah, blah, blah.
Declaration. You cannot
mock love, for it was love that created you.
You are a fool. Father?
You were correct, Batman. I should never have attempted this. Who am I to fathom the depths of human emotion, the nature of human existence?
And Flamingo would be good if you need an R-rated C-list Batman villain. Or if you ever need to do the Villain of the Year storyline. And Mr. Kimmer would be good if you made it that his camera head can shoot out acid and a blast out of it, and him doing camera-themed crimes like taking pictures as people dying and after he killed them himself. And him also spreading fake news and framing people for other supervillains' crimes and for spreading news in general on the dark web for supervillains. So him being a reporter for a supervillain, and it's good using that part of being a reporter with him being a supervillain that is a reporter. Blimp, he could have a weaponized blimp that spreads its knockout gas over a whole country with it. And with him also trying to destroy things and blow up a whole country by crashing the blimp into it and blowing up the blimp there. And you should make it him having a red, blue, black, and gold suit instead of his pink suit. And keeping him a C-list event from his DC Rebirth appearance, but him also having the same origin story from his original appearance. Him also usually working together with Colonel Gunn because of them both being pink colonels. And Calendar Man would also be a good member of the Suicide Squad because of him already showing up in the original The Suicide Squad movie. And he could also show up in the Gotham City Sirens movie that James Gunn has planned for the DCU. You could do him as a thin and bald guy with the dates tattooed around his forehead, with pale white skin and a white shirt and red pants and jacket from a suit and tie, with red and white calendar dates and pages is all over it, and on the white shirt in a different way, and a cape made out of pages from a calendar. And how he's such a good threat to Batman, and it's because of him knowing about every holiday, and him knowing that it's a holiday in another part of the world at this time. So Batman needs to use his detective skills to stop his next crime because of Calendar Man even knowing his obscure holidays. This way you could use this version of him more in the comic books. And you can even make it him doing crimes from jail, and he's how supervillains manage to do crimes in jail because him knowing how to get things in jail. And he's the guy who gets things ready for the supervillains when they get out of jail. It just being just in case if he goes to jail. And him also taking advantage when him breaking out of jail. And with him already being friends with Polka Dot Man before he died, he just said that to Polka Dot Man because he really does do his kids' birthday parties, and because of him being a C-list villain trying to prove himself too. So he was just doing a show to make himself look good in front of the other villains too, by making fun of someone who's an even bigger C-list loser villain than him, the Polka Dot Man. Then you should also do his origin story from Batman along Halloween, with also him being really lonely at holidays when everyone else had better times at the holidays, and also bad things kept happening to him at holidays. And this is how he celebrates holidays by doing crimes against other people who had better holidays than him. He was a part of the Misfits, a supervillain team out of lesser-known Batman villains, and because of him being friends with the other Batman C-list as villains, you can also put them in there by having him in there, and that is another good thing about him. And they did do a good version of him in one of the most iconic Batman storylines, Batman Long Halloween and Batman Dark Victory. And the whole reason of why he does crimes is so he fights against Batman. And this is before they even fleshed that out with the Joker and the Riddler. So you could do the reason why him wanting to fight Batman is so that why we would go out with a bang. And with it being in the usual, the Calendar Man would make it different. And with the Joker, which only on occasions him wanting to go out with a bang, him killing himself with Batman.
Really?
Live the dream, big shot.
Happy holidays, Batman.
Yay! I knew you could do it!
Like you told Calendar Man, live the dream, big shot.
And you could also make Calendar Girl his wife. And the reason why her staying as revenge is because of her falling in love with him and to get revenge on Batman for stopping her plans. And her falling in love with Calendar Man because of him reassuring her that she's beautiful without a mask. And Calendar Man does already have a kid nowadays, so you can just make it being because of her. And them being good parents to their kid, and because of them just not wanting their kid to end up like them, because what kind of parent would want their kid to have a better life than they did? So them just spending time with their kid when them not being supervillains. With them only pretending to forget their kid's birthday, but also making a good birthday in secret, but then them finding out it's good their kid caring about them so he doesn't end up like them. And you would make Calendar Girl different from Calendar Man because you make it more obvious that she's more of a serious threat than him, and her being more of a crazy supervillain than him. And this way you would be using another good character like Calendar Girl into the comic books, and using her more, while acknowledging how she's similar to Calendar Man, but also showing how she's different than Calendar Man. And she would only have one main costume that's a combination of all her other costumes. And she would care deeply about her family because her knowing the whole reason of why her existing is because of her family, and caring about her.
We're ready when you are.
Idiot! No one is allowed to see my face. No one!
Sorry.
Actually, I've decided to cancel it.
Cancel?
I'm changing the retirement policy. You can work here for as long as you can do the job.
Yes!
Yes, I was gorgeous once. I had everything. I used to be a face. I used to be the face. Until you destroyed me. Destroyed my career. I tried to get it back. For 10 years I starved, sweated, subjected my body to surgery after surgery, and for what? Days became weeks. Weeks became years until my time ran out. Now I only have one holiday left to celebrate. The Day of the Dead. And you're going to celebrate it with me. This must be my lucky day. My face!
And you just need to put this version of the Ratcatcher and Ratcatcher 2 into the comic books. And other forms of media as members of the Suicide Squad and fight against Batman. And Maxie Zeus is a good villain in Batman Source Guide because of you acknowledging that he's crazy but him still being a threat. You can do a comedic and threatening villain, look at the Joker for example. You could have the Harpy as a sidekick. It's good him caring about his daughter Nibiru more than him, because not a lot of Batman villains have kids, so that also would make him sympathetic and good in Batman Source Gallery.
From the dark realm, behold, the coming of my brother, Lord Hades! Welcome, Lord Hades.
Be serious, Max. That's Batman.
But Batman is a mere mortal. And what mortal could reach the summit of Mount Olympus and survive? Begone, Lord Hades! Get thee back to thine own realm! Do not come again to Olympus until bidden!
I think I get the message.
Max, what have you done? You could have killed someone!
How dare you speak with such disloyalty?
But Maxie, please, you know I love you.
Cleo, I'm sorry, I can't. Thou art no longer fit to be among us. Tie her to the thunderbolt of Zeus.
Boss, don't you think you may be carrying things a bit?
Alexander, wilt thou do my bidding? Nothing personal, Miss Drukas. Be not afraid, my muse. For once thou hast been cleansed by the fire from Olympus, thou shalt be as a goddess at my side throughout eternity. Now, this is truly Olympus. Surely it can be no other place. There's beautiful Demeter, goddess of the harvest. And double-faced Janus, lord of beginnings and endings. And merry Hermes, the trickster of the gods. Now at last, mighty Zeus is home.
Unveil some unusual ideas.
I shall remodel our city's ineffectual police department after my own private security force of gladiators.
Glad I didn't vote for him.
You'd be sharp looking all Spartacus, Pop.
In my honor. Our gremlin. Show yourself, Batgirl, and I shall reconsider dispatching your partner.
Partner? That would suggest.
And James Gunn did do a whole YouTube video for why he didn't put Condiment King in there, so it would be good you put Condiment King in the next Suicide Squad movie, since he is one of the best C-list supervillains, and you could also have some good supervillain weapons with this condiment theme, like him getting someone with super speed like the fastest ship over his ketchup and mustard. Him also setting the hot sauce on fire and firing at people through his ketchup and mustard guns. Him also having salt and pepper smoke bombs and exploding pickles. And I would go with the modern way he looks in the comic books, with the same personality from Batman the Animated Series, and also using in his origin story from DC superhero girls. In the same way, him being treated like a C-lister like the first original appearance of him in the comic books. You can even do Batman reforming him and him retiring from being a supervillain in the comic books, with him getting a job at Batburger. So he can be the Condiment King there, because it would be perfect for him because of him already being a fast food Batman villain, and this is a fast food restaurant themed after Batman.
Now see here, you. Hot sauce.
Anyone else want to be a hero? Then take out your wallets, cash, and jewels, and toss them here on the table. Come on, right now.
Armed with what appears to be a ketchup gun.
It's gonna be one of those nights.
Big bad bad guy. I knew you'd catch up to me sooner or later. How I've relished this meeting. You, the dynamic Dark Knight, versus me, the conceptual Condiment King.
Now listen, Mustard Man, or whatever you call yourself. You're obviously new at this, so I'm willing to go easy on you, provided you give back the loot and never even think about doing this again.
Later, chump.
Hang on!
Harvey, call an ambulance. I know this man. He's that TV comic Buddy Standler.
Working with Mayo got so intense they had to fire him. Then he got a job at Big Burger, but drove everyone there nuts, too. Same thing happened at the Demanda Panda, then at Y'all Fish and Chips, and then Dr. Pagliacci's Pizza Smoothies. He was a mealtime menace, always insisting on higher quality ingredients, always pushing for toppings upon toppings upon toppings, always screaming at poor little fry cooks without proper bun-to-patty ratios. Before long, Mitchell Mayo became a fast food pariah. No one would hire him, and that, they say, is when he lost his mind.
But you didn't bring Mitchell back. You brought back the Condiment King!
Now that's just dumb.
It's called a theme. Wait till you see what the mustard does. Off the menu item, blasphemy! Although the scent is intoxicating, the secret sauce? And is that extra cheese? Ah! I can't see! Curse the secret sauce! I'm being blinded by each of its 13 original herbs and spices!
Here, have a napkin!
You'd also need to use the Cavalier in there, because Batman was inspired by Zorro, and the Cavalier is actually being Zorro. And I would combine the Batman the Brave and the Bold version with the DC Superhero Girls version of him, with the fan art version of him, with the original version of him, with the Blades version of him, with the DC Rebirth version of him. With him being an anti-hero like in the Blades version of him, but in a combo or costume version of how he looked from the fan art version of him, his original appearance, and the Blades version of him. With him having exactly the same costume from the Blades version of him, but him having a puppy shirt and the same costume from the fan art version of him underneath it, and the same musketeer hat over the Zorro mask that he has. And him being a member of the Suicide Squad like in the DC Rebirth version of him acting the same way, and him having the same personality from the Batman the Brave and the Bold version of him. But you combine all the origin stories of him into one, with him being a rich friend of Bruce Wayne's, who became rich from being an actor who did his own stunts but got fired for making the stunts more dangerous than they should have been. And he also really enjoyed the acting part of it. So after he was inspired by Batman, he became a superhero in Gotham for fun, but after he fell in love with a woman, he actually became a superhero in Gotham until that woman died because of some criminals, so then he started brutalizing criminals. Then he would get revenge on Batman for stopping him from killing the criminals that killed his girlfriend. Then he would try to get revenge on Batman and for throwing him in jail. Then he would also try to get revenge on Batman and for stopping him from getting revenge on the people who fired him. Then he just tried to get revenge on Batman in general for ruining his life and exposing him as a Cavalier. Then him just trying to get revenge on Batman and in general afterwards. It's then him also occasionally fighting against Green Arrow because of them having a similar theme with the medieval theme. Mainly fighting other members of the Bat Family, but him also mainly fighting against the main Bat Family member Batman on occasion, mainly. Him also having the same reason for going with the Cavalier theme because that was the thing he used to act in a Zorro movie when he was an actor, and with the same origin story from DC Superhero Girls and the same connection to Z Zatanna, and just it being Gotham City to show him having more connection with Gotham City and the other Bat Family members like Z Zatanna. He would be a more loyal member of the Suicide Squad and more not willing to go against the other Suicide Squad members for Amanda Waller. With him being more willing to kill than the other Suicide Squad members, and him even trying to kill the other Suicide Squad members that tried to betray them for Amanda Waller. And because of there being so many C-lister members of the Suicide Squad there, you can make it that even more of them die at the beginning of this movie, but you still having a bunch of deaths and you slowing down with them later on in the movie. Since the Suicide Squad is already known for Batman villains, this would be a good way to get something out of the C-list Batman villains because of James Gunn's style fitting with them, and to get these good versions of them into the comic books.
a fifth-grade production of The Three Musketeers. How cliché. The cast is generally strong, however Morty Drake is horribly out of his depth as D'Artagnan. It's an embarrassing turn from an 11-year-old who lacks the necessary gravitas for the part. Once a hack, always a hack. On the other end of the spectrum, Z. Zatara was radiant in the role of Milady de Winter, acting circles around hapless Morty Drake.
Hear my name well, for it is the last that shall ever reach your ears. I am the Cavalier!
Methinks mine eyes deceive me. Batman thrice?
Somebody please deck this guy.
Undone! A plague on both your houses! Oh.
And you can do Crazy Coat as a cousin to Alfred because he already looks like Alfred, and him in thinking of doing chemicals as an art form, and from the DC Rebirth version of him. And with him doing art themed crimes because of him thinking him doing crimes as a work of art, and with him also having a color themed tank, and him also being mostly based on the Batman the Brave and the Bold version of him. And since he is the original Robin Dick Grayson's arch nemesis, he should be Nightwing's arch nemesis. It would be good him having a definitive arch enemy, and they did do their rivalry good in the Batman the Brave and the Bold version of him, so it would be good seeing that in Alpha's media too. Because it being good for Nightwing, and we would get something out of Crazy Coat too, and it is good him being an art themed supervillain, and just so Nightwing being the best Robin.
Call me a coward now, you little runt.
Quilt, we gotta go!
Who's laughing now, little birdie? Who's laughing now?
Quilt, the cops!
Very well. For years, I sat in that cell, listening to Robin's exploits on the radio, dreaming of his annihilation, destroying him over and over. With the modifications to my helmet, I will pull apart this whole city in his name, telling the citizens, this is all Robin's fault. It seems I get the pleasure of destroying you twice in one day.
Fine, I'll sit for a portrait, but make sure you get my good side, okay?
I made a few modifications. Now I can wipe you out with a mere thought.
He's got us cornered. So what's the plan?
You're a villain. Your call.
I'm on it. Batman was always a father to me. That doesn't mean I forgot my roots.
You've pilfered your last painting, Crazy Quilt.
In Rainbow One, it would also be good if you did hit him becoming a supervillain after his brother died because of it being because of an evil company. You also made it he couldn't get jobs as an artist when he got rid of his color blindness because of his glasses his brother made. And with him also being able to do damage to other people by using what the colors mean, like red is fire and blue is water. And with him just trying to get revenge on the past afterwards because he stopped him from getting his revenge on the evil company guys that did this to him. Now we combine the most iconic version of his costume with the Jeff Johns version of his costume, with him wearing a rainbow themed jacket over it with a rainbow cape. He was killed by Gorilla Grodd, and with him also being able to control people's emotions, and also him being able to split himself into different parts of his personality. And he would go well with Crazy Coat because of both of them being C-list art villains in their superhero source galleries. And he was the guy who painted the figures in the Teen Titans Go app Teeny Titans, which is better than the Cell. And it's bad Teen Titans Go making fun of it, so if they ever do a sequel to that game, it would be good the Rainbow Raiders showing up there too with Crazy Quilt. With him being able to combine the looks of the figures, and also you doing Robin's rivalry with Crazy Quilt there. And Punch and Julie are good because of them already being members of the Suicide Squad in the comic books, and also because of them having a good supervillain romance in the comic books. You could do them being a part of the Joker and Harley Quinn's laugh pack because of them and both having a joke theme and them both having good supervillain romances. And now we go with the DC Rebirth version of them combined with the original version of them, and then fighting against Captain Atom specifically. And they did have a kid together, and the Marvel Marionette version of them could show up in the Watchmen show.
Hi! Great look. The media loves that whole Jester theme, and I've been thinking an arch enemy would really raise my profile. When you get out, let's talk.
We're just having our second honeymoon. Anywhere we can.
Show off.
You still got it, baby.
And it's all yours, Daddy.
She's done, Waller. Turn it off.
A mercy killing? Getting soft on me, Lawton?
Just saving on the dry cleaning.
And Kevin Marth is the most iconic C-list Batman villain who has proven himself and has become an A-lister in other forms of media. It would be good you doing his supervillain business of being a protection and for criminals for hire. And it is good him having a good friendship with Firefly, and you need to go with the DC Rebirth version of his design. But with him being a half-man, half-moth underneath his costume, and him also having spray gas that kills humans like moths, and him having all of his original weapons. He was originally a Batgirl villain, and it would be good that you showing him being a Batgirl villain, but him mainly being a C-lister in Batman's Rose Gallery, but him proving himself as an A-lister. You should also have him having the robot mouse when you fight against Batgirl, because he did step at his game and defeat Batgirl during that. And it would be good him showing up in a live-action movie as him being a C-lister, proving himself as an A-lister.
What? I have something on my face, don't I? Well. Maybe now I'll start getting some respect. Now, as for Penguin, he's our leader, so you guys are gonna start showing him the respect he deserves.
Oh yeah, you bet.
Looks like your makeover gave you some new skills.
Up here. Okay, yours.
Oh, hey, get off of my back!
Yeehaw! Any final words before you part?
Prepare for landing.
Huh? What landing?
Sir, look out!
Huh? Now that's a blueprint for success.
And you should do Firefly being phosphorus underneath his suit.
What do you think? Cass? Did you hear me, Cass? Cassidy?
Knock yourself out.
Beauty, brains, and cool under fire. What did I do to deserve you?
Simple. You were very, very bad.
You're going to the emergency room. Don't argue with me.
Do you want to go to jail?
Pull over.
You took a lot of radiation. You need to see a doctor. A real doctor.
I'm controlling it. I'm fine.
Thanks for getting the name right, Batman. And I'm not Firefly anymore. With your last breath, call me Phosphorus.
Too hot. In the back.
Whatever.
His doctor does make him sympathetic, and it would be good you doing her as an actual Venoise to see this done. And with her actually loving her Barbara, and it is good her woman's a thing.
Daddy's working, kitten. Can't this wait until...
No! Prom is tomorrow, Daddy. I don't have time to find another date, so you're gonna find one for me!
Now, kitten, be reasonable. You don't seriously expect me to...
And I don't want just anyone. I want...
And Robin? We'll take this lovely young lady to her junior prom.
Hi, Robbie Pooh!
What was that last part again?
Meow.
Right. Will you go with me to the prom?
Oh, Robbie Pooh! I thought you'd never ask!
Let's never fight again, baby.
Oh, thanks!
Consider yourself dumped.
Nobody dumps Kitten! Nobody! You're going to pay for this, Robbie Pooh! You're going to pay!
So, no second date?
Sorry we pretty much ruined your prom. Are you kidding? This was the best prom ever!
Even if I still can't move my legs!
Yeah, that'll wear off.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, the king and queen of this year's prom are... Robin and Starfire!
I guess one more dance wouldn't kill me.
And Zero-Man is a member of the Suicide Squad in comic books, so it'd also be good for the Watchmen, so he was a part of Psych vs. Cobra, and it is good him having magnetic powers. And I would go with the Batman with the low version of him, but with the mohawk. And his personality from the Suicide Squad comic books. And the same character journey from the Suicide Squad comic books.
2 days ago, Zebra Man, you told a parole officer you would never use your magnetic powers for evil again. Looks like you'll never change your stripes.
And Flamingo would go well with Egghead, who would have egg-themed weapons, and Sweet Tooth would be good because of him having candy-themed weapons, and him having a carnival suit and tie, combined with both fan art version of him and the version of him and from Holy Musical Batman. And Simon the Pie Man would be good if you did him being in called Pie Man because of his cooking theme, and you would also go well with Sweet Tooth because of their cooking theme. It would be good than doing egg food to get rid of one of DC's greatest mistakes, and they already have a good version of him with him being a Kryptonian scientist and him being a good fan of Harley Quinn's in the modern day comic book, so it would be easy for them to do that. And it would be good because Harley Quinn would be in the Suicide Squad movie, and because Egg Fu would go along with Egghead because of their egg theme.